Ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, my name is Reavyne and welcome back to my channel. Now it has been a while since I've done a For Honor video. I put out a video explaining why I was gone, and just a quick update, yes, all my wounds and everything are healing nice and good and everything, so it's all going good so far. But we are back with another Raven's Ramble. Now tonight's Warriors Den, I'm waiting for the blog post to come out. I think they already just put out the patch notes and that's all they're going to do, because they're not doing the weekly Warriors Dens anymore. We're going to talk about that. But essentially, I'm going to be doing a big old ramble here, a nice big one for you guys as I come back to the fold. So I hope you guys have missed me crapping on about stuff, because we're going to crap on about some stuff. So today's ramble, we're going to talk about two separate things. So one is going to be the future direction of For Honor in terms of, you know, what they're focusing on. And also we're going to be talking about the fact that while I was gone, Luke apparently left. So that's something that came to my attention a few days ago. And yeah, so Luke's gone. Now this is a really, really big problem. And this is a really, really big problem because he was there from pretty much the start. From what I know, it was him and the original founder of the game that found the guy. You know, he ended up going before the game launched and all that sort of stuff. I think, yeah, pretty sure. Like it got to like alpha beta or something. But essentially Luke has been there from the start. Now, hearing him leave actually really pisses me off because I really, really genuinely did like Luke. He was like, he reminds me of one of my uncles, okay? So he's like, you know, just that old guy. He's always there. He's always funny. You know, he's just good to be around, and he was a joy to listen to on the Warriors Den. Yes, at times he did get carried away with himself and like, you know, keep talking and talking and talking. But then again, I do the exact same thing. It's completely fine. But having Luke leave is pretty goddamn shit. And I'm genuinely going to miss the guy, and he was there for a long time. Now, the reason why this is a big issue, and I think I don't need to point it out, but I'm going to anyway, because I know some people are, you know, they're pretty dense when it comes to this stuff. Luke's gone. He was one of the OGs. Pope's already left. Okay, you have freaking Damien, who also left as well. We're running out of dudes here. Now, I know people are going to be like, there's a lot in the back end. There's tons of people. Of course, there's heaps of fucking people in the back end, but the problem is all the people at the front, okay, all the people that we know about, that we talk to in terms of like communication with the devs and all that sort of stuff, they're all dropping like flies. And they're not dropping like flies because the game is doing really, really well. They're dropping like flies because obviously they're getting better offers elsewhere. So they're moving up the totem pole. They're going to other places and they're doing other things. Now, you wouldn't do that if the, you know, project you're currently working on was doing really, really, really well. Now, I say that because if I was working on something that I really fucking loved and it was just blowing up and it's just doing amazing, and then you're like, hey, you know, come do this thing, even if it's a promotion, I'm not doing it. Fuck that. I'm going to stick with the thing that is going really well and I'm enjoying right now. Now, the only way you could entice me to go to the other thing is if it's something else that I'm really, really like excited and, you know, I'm going to enjoy, and of course it's a promotion. But Luke, Pope, Damien, they all got scattered around to different places around Ubisoft doing different things. Now, we haven't heard from Roman in a while that I know of. I have been gone for like 3 weeks, so keep that in mind. He might have popped up on one of the Warriors Dens that I missed, but since from my knowledge, we haven't heard from Roman in ages. Stefan's been our main dude lately. He's been going pretty well, that Michael guy as well, and the dude with the beard, can't remember his name, but yeah, he's got the really cool voice. He's been there too, but we're running out of dudes. And that's a massive problem because as we run out of more people, it just means that the game is doing, you know, worse, or it's getting to the point where people are ready to move on. And that's not a good thing, because if these guys are ready to move on, that means everyone's sort of getting to that point. It's sort of like the game's falling into maintenance mode a little bit. Same thing happens with any other game as it starts to die down, as, you know, it goes on for 3, 4, 5, 6 years or whatever, as things, you know, the funding starts getting cut, you know, as everything starts to just wind down, like the Warriors Dens being cut, all that sort of stuff, it just gets worse and worse and worse, and then people start looking for the next thing they're gonna do for the next 3, 4 years. And the fact that that's not For Honor for these guys anymore, that's really worrying. And it was also really surprising because the way Luke was talking, it seemed like he was here for the long haul, but the fact that he's gone, that really fucking, when I found that out, man, did I get worried. I was already worried before, but that really made me worried because, yeah, it's like his baby, man. You're not gonna just walk away from your thing. Especially something that you've like spent that much time in. Hell, it took Chris Metzen like, you know, fucking nearly 15 years to walk away from World of Warcraft. So that is incredibly worrying that so many OGs are leaving, and it just keeps happening, and that is extremely bad. I'm very fucking worried at this point that if everyone keeps leaving, we're going to have no one left. Whenever you replace the entire staff with brand new people, not saying it's happening, slowly happening, but you know, when you start replacing people, they come in and then, you know, it all just gets sort of messy. And we're starting to get on a good track, okay? We're getting somewhere in terms of balance and stuff. So on that front, kind of worried, but we'll see what happens if fucking, you know, Stefan leaves or if Roman leaves. Man, it's gonna be fucking game over, I can tell you that. It's not gonna be good if one of those two leave. Because right now, those two seem to be the main ones who are basically pushing this thing forward. Especially Stefan, he seems to be one of the guys who's just like all steam ahead. But the problem with Stefan is lately that I've been seeing from the Warriors dens as well is he seems to be sort of getting burnt out. From when Stefan used to talk back in the day about balance and stuff, he was really like, you know, passionate and excited about it. Now it just seems like he's just over it, especially when someone will ask a question and he will sit there and he'll be like, you know, back in the day he'd be like, even if it was a dumb question, he'd try his best to answer it. Now he's sort of just like, yeah, well, like, yeah, that's a thing, and he just like sort of just like shrugs it off. It's like he has the passion still there, but he's just sort of, I don't know what's going on, he just seems sort of deflated. Now let's talk about the second part of this video, and the second thing I want to talk about, and that is what's going to happen in the future for Honor in terms of the direction that the developers are going to go. Now right now they seem to be heavily focusing on tournaments and balance and trying to just get tournaments, you know, in a really good spot. They started bringing on that girl into the Warriors den to just, you know, keep pushing and pushing and pushing tournaments. They're trying to push tournaments as much as they can. They've done this in the past. It didn't work. It's never worked, and I don't know why they're doing it now. They've just been too slow with it. If they were gonna launch the game and be like tournament focused, it should have happened ages ago, but we all know what happened there. But I don't mind them pushing the tournament so hard and trying to cater to that top % of players if they know the game is going to be dying very, very soon. We're talking like maybe a year or something. The game's got this year, next year, then they're done with it. That's fine. Push for the tournaments, go heavy and hard on that stuff, because at least when all the casuals and everyone else leaves because the game, you know, starts to die off, you have your hardcore, you know, fan base there, those last like Bastion dudes. They're gonna chill, they're gonna, you know, enjoy the tournaments, they're gonna do all that, and then you can sunset the game. That seems to be sort of maybe the direction they're going with it. Now keep in mind, I don't know the back end here and what's going on behind the scenes. We're talking like the shit with the higher ups at Ubisoft, Rome and all that, but this is just speculation. If they are going to be going forward with, you know, like many years, 3 or 4 years, they're going to do a foreigner to that sort of stuff. Doing the tournament thing now and focusing on it so heavily over other things that need prioritization is really, really stupid in my opinion, because once again, you're catering to that like small percentage of players, and that doesn't carry a game. That will stick around for a game forever, but it doesn't keep the game alive. We all know that money keeps the game alive. Now with money keeping the game alive, there's two ways to do it. You either have that small niche, like, you know, community, and they just spend a fuckload of money. I don't know if that's happening or not. Or you have a bunch of people and they all spend a little bit of money, and that basically makes up the difference. And then of course you also got to remember, even if you have a dedicated, like, you know, top percentage of players who are just throwing money at a game left, right, and center, if the game is big enough and you have a massive pool of casual players, they're still going to spend more than the freaking, you know, top percentage of players are. So it's better to have the casuals there anyway. But if you're looking to keep the game alive for a very long time, you need to focus on the things that are going to keep it alive for a very long time. And that is balance, which they're doing, which is really, really good. That is also content, which they're doing. We've talked in the past about how they've been scaling back content greatly. That's not a good sign, especially when it comes to hero releases, rework releases, when it comes down to map releases, when it comes down to events, just pretty much everything. We know with some of the weapons and stuff lately have been reskins. Armor's been a big deal. There's been, like, you know, pretty much Jackal armor for a very long time, and they seem to be focusing more on the easy things to do, like, you know, signatures and stuff like that, like, you know, with the battle outfits. Now the reason why balance and content will drive this game forward in the future is pretty self-explanatory, but let's go over it. One, the balance is going to basically make it so the game is as playable and as fair as possible. This game is not very noob friendly, so pretty much anyone who joins the game fresh, they're going to get their asses fucking plundered, and then they're going to have to just either sit through it until they get good, or they're going to have to quit, because we all know Foreigner's matchmaking isn't the best thing in the entire world now, is it? So the closer you can get balanced together, the better of a chance you can give those guys, I suppose. They're still going to get rammed regardless, but at least they will have some chance instead of having no chance, because they're not going to know the meta or anything. They're going to come in, if they pick a shit character, everyone's rocking the characters they know are good, they're going to get slammed. So balance is very important for bringing in brand new players. It's important for the casual base, and it's also, you know, very important for the top end because they heart balance like a motherfucker. But the big thing alongside that is content, because content keeps people playing the game, content keeps people coming back to the game, and content keeps the game feeling fresh. We're going years on now with For Honor, and it starts to get boring. You all feel it, you all know it. You jump in, you play a bunch of games, you're playing with your friends, it's great. If you're not playing with your friends and you're playing solo, after a few games, it starts to get a bit boring. And then after, like, you know, 6, 7, 8 games, you know, the bore sets in and then you go play something else. And of course, back when the game first launched, or even, you know, a year and a half or so in, it wasn't like that. You know, you play fucking 8 hours straight, you're good to go. But that's like anything. As it starts to go on, it starts to drag out. And that's when new content revitalizes the whole thing. Now, they've been scaling back on brand new content, and that is the big fucking issue here. Now, that is obviously due to the fact that the player base has dropped off, the funding has dropped off, people aren't spending as much money, and that's why they can't afford to make as much content and push it out as heavily as they used to. Anyone who wants to disagree with that, anyone who wants to argue that, they're just plain wrong, because we've literally, anyone like me who's been here from the alpha, we've seen it happen. we've literally seen it happen. It's completely undeniable. They've scaled back content greatly. Warriors Den is content as well. They've just scaled everything back. And we have one more hero coming up this year, and then we get to find out, I guess, what there is coming next year. So it's going to be really interesting to see what we actually get next year. My guess is if they're going to go along this route for another year, they might bring out 4 more heroes, so 1 for each faction again. And then we'll get some more reworks via the testing grounds as they go through that, try and, like, you know, tune things up a bit. We're going to get some new maps and stuff that come out with new seasons next year. We'll probably get a new game mode somewhere in the middle there. There's going to be the events like normal. There's going to be, like, you know, the content of the every couple of weeks, I guess, every so often. And then one of two things is going to happen. And I strongly believe this, and we're going to have to wait and see if it pans out, but I strongly believe one of two things is going to happen at that point, at the arse end of next year, after they release the final character, if they do 4 characters again. I think they're either going to sunset the game and just end it there and then maybe move on to something else. And by end it there, I mean stop updates. So they'll keep the game open so people can play it and stuff, but I don't think they'll add brand new content. Or if they do, they'll do sort of like Diablo 3, where they just bring in, like, really slow drip drab bits of content here and there. That's one thing that I think might happen at the arse end of next year. Or what they might do is go into For Honor 2, which would be the best thing fucking possible for the entire franchise. I think one of those two things is very, very plausible based on the amount of people leaving, based on the amount of content being scaled back, but we're going to have to wait and see. But that's going to be the question. Are we going to get more next year? Maybe. I think that we are, because they've hinted that we might be getting more heroes, so I think we might be getting a shit ton of Vanguards. Could be a Vanguard year. So we'll get 4 more Vanguards. That's highly likely. We'll get those stuff that I mentioned, but will it end? That's the question I've been pondering a while lately. Is it going to end and then we're going to have to work out what we're going to do, or is it going to keep going in the form of, number 2, or they could just curveball that shit and just do it again. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm really fucking curious to see what happens next year. Got to remember as well that brand new consoles come out next year too. The PS5 and the Xbox Scarlet, whatever that's going to be called, they're going to come out. Are they going to upgrade For Honor on consoles? Maybe. If they don't, at least give them 60 FPS, that's going to be a kick in the fucking nuts. But next year is going to be one of the biggest years for Honor that we're going to have to date, because it's going to tell us what's happening with the future of, I reckon, the entire fucking franchise. So we're going to have to wait and see. But until then, I'm super excited to be back. Thank you all so much for waiting. Thank you for your patience. My surgery has gone good. I'm healing, so do not stress about that. So I'm going to be here trying to get back into the groove of things. I have some more doctor's appointments and stuff to check stuff out. But apart from that, we should be back on schedule over the next couple of weeks with me releasing regular videos. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you all so much for your patience and everything. I love you all, and I shall see you all in the next video. Have a good one, guys. But that is the end of the video, guys, so thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and let me know your thoughts. I love reading and replying to all your comments down below. And feel free to check out my Discord and Twitter. There is a link down below in the description box for both of those as well. The Discord is a great way for me to talk to you guys outside the YouTube comments section. And of course, the Twitter is a great way for you guys to get a notification whenever a video is being uploaded, because YouTube is a bit weird sometimes. And if you like this video and you like what I'm doing here on the channel and you want to support the channel further, feel free to check out my Patreon. There'll be a link down below in the description box, and a link will pop up at the end of the video. And if you choose to donate, it is greatly appreciated. And a big shout out to my current patrons whose names you've been seeing in the background. Just wanted to say thank you for your support. It really does mean a lot. And please share this video around. It does help me out a fuck ton. And if you want to see more videos from me, please hit the subscribe button. I shall see you all in the next video. Have a good one, guys.